Ahoy! Welcome to another tutorial on how to manage your school's website. My name is Chris Maurer, and today I intend to take you through the news feature. Now, if you haven't previously gone through and watched the tutorials up to this point, I highly recommend you stop this one, go back, watch those ones so you'll be all caught up and be in the know. Especially the posts tutorial, the one right before this. We will be building today on some of those concepts and be talking about the differences between news and posts. So if you haven't watched the post one, you'll want to watch that one now and then come back. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. You'll notice here in the administration area, over on the left hand side, you have a news menu item and a posts menu item. The news menu item is very similar to the posts. If I hover over news, you'll see that there's all news, add news, news categories, news tags. And if I hover over posts, you have the all posts, the add new categories, and tags. A lot of the same things. They are, however, two separate entities on your website. If I hover over news and I choose add news, you will also see that when it loads, it's very similar to the posts add new. You have a spot for title, and you have a spot for body. A lot of these areas over here to the right are also the same. So the question is, what is the difference between news and posts then? News can be better thought of as perhaps a news flash or an announcement or a reminder or update. Something short to this point and sweet. I don't know, it doesn't have to be sweet, depends on how you're feeling that day, I suppose. But an example might be last day of school. Don't forget to leave your backpacks home. Or it might be don't forget parent-teacher conferences this Wednesday. It might also be don't forget the assembly is at 2 o'clock. Versus a post, which is for your longer editorial type content. For example, a post might be a write-up about that same assembly at 2 o'clock, where you have a few different pictures and say, hey, this was a great assembly, this is what we learned. It was about pillow fights. We learned that if you stuff your pillow down at the bottom, it has more momentum as you swing it around. I mean, it's for longer editorial type content. Down here in the news, the short and simple to the point type content. Something that I like to do is come up here to where my school name is, I right click it, and I open link a new tab. That brings me to this page where I can easily see what's in the front end of my website and compare it to what I have going on here in the administration area. So going back to the front end tab of your website, let's find the news page. And you'll see on the news page it looks a lot like the blog page that we talked about in our previous tutorial. The only difference is that it's pulling from news. So here in the news area, you'll have the news title, you have your news content, and you have, just like posts, categories down through here. Coming back here to the administration area, you'll notice if I hover over news, I've already have it selected, so it's going to be already expanded. If I choose news categories, I have the ability to create categories for my news items. So I have emergency, general announcement, and school closure as possible categories. I mean, honestly, it's your website. Figure out kind of the news items that you will be talking about and go ahead and create them yourself. Basically what you do is you come over here and all you have to do is give it a name. Extra information. You don't have to worry about the slug or the parent or the description. Go ahead and just click Add News Category. And notice that extra information over here to the right now displays with these other news categories. They are now there and available to you to assign your news items to those categories for easy access for people to navigate your website. So back over here in the news, I am now going to click Add News. Clicking Add News brings me to this page. On this page, let's go ahead and create a news item. Where it says enter title here, that's where we'll enter our title. So as an example, let's say school closed today, cold temperatures. Temperatures, that's not right. There we go, ta-da. Notice now that permalink shows up and the title is in there. That's a direct link to the post once we create it, or the news item. Down here, we will go ahead and add short paragraph. Okay, I've written a little bit of information there. That is all there is to a news post. You don't have to put pictures, you don't have to put PDFs or anything else. Pretty much just a title and some content area. Over here to the right, you have your news categories. Go ahead and assign it the category of your choice. In here, for example, it would be school closure. Down below here, I would go ahead and add some tags that makes it easier to find things. So, cold, temperature, bus not starting, school closed. There's some good tags. If I want to, remember from the previous tutorial, you can click one of these X's to remove a tag. And really that's all there is to it. You can go ahead and schedule a post for later publishing if you want, or you can go ahead and publish it immediately, which is what I am going to do. So I publish it immediately. I now come over here to the news page. I'm going to refresh it, and you'll see that that is up there at the top of the page. Now notice that there is a difference here. This one does not have a picture associated with it, whereas this one does. If you remember back from the posts tutorial, this spot right here is called the featured image. You can add something to the featured image spot rather easily. Now I would typically recommend leaving your images out of this news body area, and I will explain why that's the case in just a little bit here. But you can always come down here and assign a featured image, just so you have a little bit more eye candy on your website. I am going to do that. I'm going to choose featured image. You can upload a new file if you want, or go to Media Library. I have some stuff on there already, so I'm going to choose Media Library. Let's see if there's anything here that looks like cold temperatures. Ooh, this one does. Let's choose that. So I'm going to set the featured image as these misty, frigid mountains. Now notice, once I upload it to that featured image spot, that it still is not in this body area. All it's going to do, I'm going to click update, all it's going to do is add that image into this little side spot right there, just so you have a little bit more eye candy and visual reference to what's going on. Makes your website a little bit more exciting. Notice that it's filed under school closure and tagged with bus not starting. That's pretty much news in a nutshell. Let's go ahead and talk just a little bit more about the finer things about news that you will probably want to know. The first thing, again, let's do a quick recap. News and posts are different in the sense that news are for short little updates, whereas posts are for longer editorial type things. The second thing that you will want to know about news is that news goes to the mobile app that the district has built. The mobile app will pull the title and also the first 100 characters of your body area. And that goes into why I was suggesting not to add an image to this content area right here unless you want to. You always can, but keep it after the first 100 characters. Because the mobile app pulls those first 100 characters, if you have an image first, what it's going to try to do is pull the HTML code from the news. Let me show you. If I add an image, I'm just going to add these apples because they're quick. Then I come over here to the text tab. You'll see that it is actually the HTML code right there. So the mobile app is going to try to pull the first 100 characters of this post, which all happens to be HTML characters. When someone looks at that in the mobile app, they're going to be confused. What on earth is this? What does it mean? And the answer will be, that's a good question. So if you're going to add an image to the news body area, please add it after the first paragraph or after the first few sentences, because you want your mobile app to be as useful as possible. So if you add an image, please again do it after the first 100 characters or so. But really, there's no need to add an image in a quick update. You can add a featured image instead if you want. Add tags, make sure you give it a category, and publish your post. And that is that. You are good to go. If you have any questions, let me know. My name is Chris Maurer. Go ahead and contact me via the communications office at the district. And let me know if you have questions. Thanks.